Hello, welcome back to Dragon Quest IV, Chapters of the Chosen. Last time, we got our ass beat by Baalzack, so this time we're going to take this video feed, put it there, and that's going to display every single time I tried to beat Baalzack without level grinding, while we level grind on the main screen here.
I don't know if I can show a Baalzack cam on YouTube if I'm being entirely honest.
Take that, Wade. Beat you to it.
Also, it should be noted that really we should be pronouncing it Baalzack, because he did add the extra A.
Yes, in reference to... I've always pronounced that Baal, but it might be Baal or something.
Mm-hmm. Baal float on, okay. But yeah, you know him, you love him, he's from the Arsgo area. That guy.
I should see what he does in the Rs. Also, because of Xenoblade X, maybe that's pronounced geisha.
Well, damn.
I mean, I wouldn't know. It's not a word I've ever used outside of that one book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't come up much for some reason, and I don't know why. All the demons in there are pretty great. There's just a bunch of demons. They have jobs. They command this many legions.
Yeah. I love that they all have titles and an amount of legions they command, because that can't matter. It can't matter for any decision you're making whenever you're summoning a demon.
You know, some people would say power scaling's a recent phenomenon, but you know, they were doing that back in the day as well.
God, I'm just picturing people, like, meeting, you know, in secret locations behind closed doors and just arguing until they're blue in the face about which demon is stronger. Anyways, there's nothing special about this level grinding. Last time we had to go to, you know, the islands north, because that's where the monsters were stronger. I wanted to show off Tornico's Whistle Command. This, I'm just mad that the game is making me level grind again. There's a game over. Game over in the corner.
Alright, so we're now into 2 deaths to him.
That's me in the corner. Getting a game over.
Losing to Baalzack. I've healed too much. I haven't healed enough.
Alright, well, this fight is not going particularly well. Now it's going well.
This motherfucker may not reflect physical. However, he will make your defense go down.
And he did resist an ice spell. See, these guys have really high defense.
You know, this may be pretty bad for me. I've assessed the situation. The situation sucks.
So anyways, I've said a couple of times that, like, oh yeah, Dragon Quest has a reputation for being grind heavy, and that's kind of unfair. You don't really have to grind. This is the time where you have to grind. This is just a point where if you are playing the game normally, you will not be strong enough. Most of the time, if you're grinding, it is for optional stuff. It's for, like, expanding your toolkit, because they tie job progression and therefore the skills you learn to, like, a number of battles fought rather than your level.
Mm-hmm. It's unusual, but okay.
So, yeah. So you'll spend your time trying to find out where you can continue to grind out your jobs without progressing your level too much. things like that. The grinding gets more advanced in later games. But you don't really have to do it because your level is going to more or less be on the correct curve.
Yeah.
You might just not have the things you want if you haven't, if you like change your mind about how you're building your characters. For this game, the spells and the skills and everything actually don't have skills yet, so just the spells are tied to level progression. So if we want Kirill to be able to heal everyone in the group, he just has to be a high enough level, so go fuck yourself. And like with this game, there's not really another way they could do that.
Yep. The class is the person.
They would just have to they just have to put Baalzack at the end of a dungeon so that you have to like fight enemies and level up there, and you don't just have to wander around the world so that everybody can level up.
Yeah, we really haven't had that many dungeons. Like, ever since we got to this chapter.
Because it's... Yeah, in this chapter we had, I can't remember the names, but we had the dungeon where the monsters try to trick us.
Yeah, that was a weird solo one.
We had to do the dungeon from the Mahabala sisters.
Ah, yep, that one again.
You already mentioned the pantry. There was the lighthouse.
Okay, so 4 is an okay amount, but like... There's nothing between the first wall and the second wall.
Yeah,
and
that's the problem.
And they clearly knew that both of these bosses were walls. Because they just separated them. They're no longer living under the same roof.
Anyways, Gloria just learned TikTok. He can now change time. We already had the item that could change night to day, but now Boria can change day to night. I think I got that backwards, but whatever.
I don't think Boria would be popular on TikTok. Let's be honest here. He wouldn't make it a day. He is the old man. He doesn't get it.
I think he'd be able to maintain his sizable ironic fandom. He just keeps making videos accidentally and people love it.
A lot of them feature Kirill doing something dumb.
Either that or he makes those videos where they play like a short clip from somebody else and then most of the video is just the actual guy whose channel you're on mocking them.
Boria would do that, yeah.
And he'd be pretty good at it too.
Boria somehow managed to maintain a more sizable fan base than Elena. She doesn't understand how this happens.
I was going to say he would get canceled when he tried to show support for the royal family, though. His video addressing that controversy is titled, "Did You Forget I Am Old?"
Kirill, of course, has the fewest followers of the three of them, because it really is just him simping over Elena. It's just Elena fan cams.
He uploads one video where he's talking directly to the camera, and it's his most viewed one, because you may disagree on this, but canonically, Kirill is supposed to be very handsome looking.
Sure, alright.
He's supposed to have a whole bunch of his own, like, fangirls simping for him that he ignores so he can simp for Elena.
Mm-hmm.
So we're still fighting flamethrowers, huh? I feel like we've been seeing these guys for like 7 videos.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of them. Weren't they part of that mini-boss? Or the
Yeah, they were the
regular
boss. This was the other guy. That was the boss at the at the lighthouse. Now they're just we kicked them out of their home, and now they're just wandering around.
We're demoting this guy to normal ass enemy.
Like really quickly too. Cock-a-doodle-doo is your sleep heal.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. Sophia learned alarm.
I was going to say it does hit the whole party, so it does kind of imply that she's just screaming really loudly.
She just pulls out an actual chicken. The magic is how she manages to keep this thing alive in her pockets this entire time.
Alright, does Toriko get anything fun? Nope.
Nope.
Man, fuck this guy.
You don't even do anything. On
Alright,
second
now this
thought,
is a fight.
Maybe we can get the other guy back. Well, at least most of them are napping. Okay.
I kind of mentioned this earlier, but another issue I have with this grinding compared to the last grinding, there isn't really a good place to power level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there is a point in your JRPG where, like, well, being at a higher level would help, I will accept that if there is a place I can go to do a bunch of really hard fights and level up a lot faster than I should be able to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just the evergreen Squaresoft accidentally put the squares for the southern continent at like the very tip of this continent.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid trope names, but I need a peninsula power leveling, yes.
Whoops,
Just give me a
accidentally put
place where
those
I
fight
can go.
tiles here. Ah, damn hell. But yeah, it is wild that, like,
Also-
you have a boat and you can go just about, like, anywhere that's not surrounded by mountains, but there's nowhere to really go for tougher enemies at this point.
Yeah. You might be able to go to, like, the next area the game is expecting you to go. I forget how they lock that off. But it's a lot further out of the way compared to those islands we were training at last time.
Alright, so yeah, not easy to get to then.
Yeah, like the islands, it might be a little much to call them a secret, but it feels like something that, like, the developers put in there to reward you exploring a little bit. Like, you might notice, oh, these islands have different enemies. I can still beat them, but they have a much better experience drop. And honestly, I might be over leveling to deal with Baalzack. That's part of the reason I have the, as you put it, the Baalzack cam there on the side is just to justify my decision to level to the extent that I did. This fight is bullshit.
It's kind of the same as the last fight, too, just slightly different. Just real heavy
Yeah.
attack and can attack multiple times and can also hit the party.
And you can't bring the rest of your party in. If you just fought this guy in the courtyard and you were allowed to bring your wagon, he'd probably be a lot easier to deal with. One thing that I didn't try to do that maybe I should have, you can get armor that resists fire and ice attacks. I think the stuff available at this point would be locked to women. We have plenty of those on our team. So I could have tried that, but I just wanted Kirill to get the spell that will make him the better healer over Mina. for the most part, the characters that overlap in role have their own like specific niches. Like Ragnar and Elena are both physical hitters, but Ragnar works better as a tank because he can equip better armor and has higher HP. Elena works better for metal slime hunting and any other like crit fishing builds because she has a better critical rate, and she can unlock equipment that lets her attack multiple times.
Oh, nice.
It's a much lower attack, but if you're doing critical hits, it doesn't matter as much.
Yeah, so it's overall higher.
I think it's a lot. I'm not 100% sure if it's actually worth it. It's definitely worth it for metal slime hunting. Because you just need the one crit, so it doesn't matter how many times or how low your attack is. Yeah, I couldn't say off the top of my head what the exact differences between Boria and Maya or Mina and Kiro are.
I mean, I guess in some respects, fire and ice, which do have separate uses being different elements. But yeah, I can't really see what differences they have at the moment otherwise.
You know what? Maya's already learned her, started learning the bang lane, the bang line of spells, which hits the entire enemy all enemies on screen.
Yeah, not just groups.
Boria doesn't get any equivalent, but he gets a few more stat boosting spells that we'll talk about as they come up. So it does. They do kind of have niches where like Maya can get you through the dungeon easier because she can wipe out the random encounters, but you kind of want Boria around for the bosses because he can boost speed and attack power and stuff like that. With Kirill, I already mentioned he's going to get a multi-heal spell that'll hit our whole party at once.
And he also has the just buff everybody's defense as well, so...
Yes, he has to buff.
Efficient.
He doesn't get... Right, he doesn't get a traditional attack spell is the thing.
So he's pure healer, but, like, really good at it, which is really what we need right now.
Right. Not pure healer. I really hope he hasn't already unlocked this and I just missed it. But he doesn't get a traditional attack spell. Stopping on somatic staff, this will cause your normal attack to spend MP.
Alright, so it's basically just, do you want your wizard to hit people?
Yeah, so on the one hand, it'll make your wizards viable for regular attacking. On the other hand, the one advantage that regular attacking had is now gone. So, I don't think I bother.
Is there an entire dungeon where you get silenced?
No. This is not Final Fantasy IX.
So yeah, probably not that useful then. Although, sometimes with the way the enemies feel, in regards to their resistances, maybe it would be kind of appreciated sometimes. Just fight some guy where it's like, okay, this isn't affecting him ever if I use magic. Fine, I'll just hit him with a stick.
Yeah, I guess that is one advantage. But I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't bother.
You've probably got better uses for your time.
Doing the old equipment shuffle. Preparing for the next fight against Baalzack.
Alright people, we're on a budget. Everybody, take a bit of armor, see if you can use it. If not, pass it to the bag.
We are still using the feathered cap, which I think is the first piece of equipment we found for Elena.
Are we poor?
Yeah, princess, you would have take a little trip to Zemkovska's treasury, maybe help us out.
Well, problem. That's currently what we're trying to get. This is a real I can't be there man
Spoilers.
situation.
Spoilers, liberating Zemkovska's not going to fix that.
They
Also, I
took the
guess all
money.
Tortico's money is tied up in his investments. Because he's not helping out.
Okay, Baalzack, you've beaten us many, many times, but this time, you're going down, motherfucker.
Yes, by putting this fight on the main screen, I have spoiled that we're going to win this time.
I mean, in fairness, last time I kind of figured, like, well, surely they wouldn't have 2 walls in a row, right? And I was wrong then.
This is the worst part of Dragon Quest IV. The rest of the game is pretty fun. Actually, I guess it's pretty easy to overlevel yourself for this fight. And maybe the next bit will be a bit too easy.
Well, you know, after we've had 2 walls in a row, I feel like the game deserves that.
Right out of the gate with 2 multi-hit attacks.
And this is the successful run, you're sure? Are you pulling my leg again?
Unless I supremely fucked up. Also, I don't remember drawing attention to Kirill learning multi-heals, so maybe I wasn't going for that. Maybe I was just going for a bit more stats.
And yeah, you are using mid-heal, so... Alright, you could level up
this
even
is
more.
the only... This is the only page of spells that he has. So yeah, I wasn't even grinding for multi-heal. I just wanted more levels. They totally could have just made this a dungeon. Just have Zemkovska have a literal dungeon underneath the castle that we have to traverse and do a couple of fights.
Also, didn't actually make note of it last time, but I do appreciate that. Even if they're not in the party, me and Maya's battle theme is playing.
Yeah, I wish it made sense to bring them to this fight. Maybe it does, and that's why I had such a hard time, because I didn't do that. Dabina eventually learns a spell that would help with all this ice bullshit, but I think it's like way down the line.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope it's way down the line she doesn't already have it, and I just forgot.
I feel like you would have noticed by this point, and I don't remember us running across that one. I feel like we would have gotten to it and be like, that's the spell. You need that one.
Yeah, I have no idea how I got past this without multi-heal.
Perseverance.
Something that I could have done, remember how in Chapter 5 we had to get the Sphere of Silence?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I forgot about that by this point. I think I recorded these gameplay sessions like months apart. But if I could have stopped him from casting Crackle, that probably would have been helpful, given the sheer amount of damage he keeps fucking doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess did we ever lose that? Because I've not been paying attention to the inventory, but like, yeah, if we still have that, that'd be really good.
Yeah, you typically don't lose items in Dragon Quest. And the items do carry over across chapters in this game. It's just money that doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've got all the other stuff. We have the night lamp.
So yeah, for all my complaining, maybe that was what I was supposed to do, and I just forgot. It wouldn't have fixed everything, because part of Baalzack's problem is he has a hidden regenerating factor.
Mm-hmm.
So he'd still be getting a bunch of health back every turn that we'd have to deal with. So I had to resort to Ragnar using a fucking medicinal herb. That's how dire the situation is.
He finally found a use for them.
Yeah, see what 2 Kabuffs can do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's...
Episodes ago, you made a joke about me counting the number of turns. Maybe I should have done that, so I wouldn't have to go any amount of time without Kabuff being up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of necessary, because it doesn't look like he can use 2 Crackles in a row. I don't think he's done that. He might have done that and I just missed it, but like... It seems like he'll usually do Crackle and Cool Breath, but not 2 of the thing that actually damages you, so...
Yeah.
Otherwise, his main thing is just real painful attacks.
You can see that Kabuff does nothing to stop Crackle.
Yep.
The reason I'm not just constantly casting Kabuff to keep it up is that Kabuff is relatively expensive at this point for Kiril's MP amount. And he needs to spend some MP healing. And you really don't want to just peter out at the end of this fight because you spent too much MP on Kabuff and not enough on healing. But yeah, a lot of this fight just comes down to keeping your buffs up and just hoping that you roll well on the RNG and he keeps doing physical attacks that don't do anything.
Yeah, like this would almost be doable in a row with the Leon fight, except, yeah, you would not really have the resources for it. And also, both of them can just individually screw you, and it would be really annoying.
Yeah. Hey, he's down. Also, like I said, if I remembered to bring the fucking Sphere of Silence, because the one thing we couldn't really deal with was Crackle, and if we could have dealt with that, then we'd have been fine. Alright, Ragnar's leveling up, so good stat boost, but nothing else. Same with Elena.
Ragnar spontaneously spawned in new armor. It's even better. It's frankly terrifying how he did that.
There it is. Kirill learns Whack. Kirill does not get an attack spell. He gets the instant death spell. In the NES version, he would constantly cast it no matter how bad the odds of it succeeding were.
That's the bad one. Alright, yeah, okay.
Once you learn that, Kirill becomes useless.
Well, thank goodness this isn't the NES version then. That really sucks, because, like, yeah, the fact that he's the one with the party heal and Kabuff means he should be really useful.
Again, I don't know if how true it is that Kirill becomes completely useless. It's the joke with Kirill, but people were still able to beat the game, so I'm assuming that you could still get him to heal and Kabuff. The thing is that whatever, like, the AI would make calculations and then use those to determine what it should do. and whatever calculations it was doing, the possibility that you could end the fight right now by casting Whack was always weighed too heavily.
Mm-hmm.
So the AI would constantly come to the conclusion that, well, I should cast Whack and try and end the fight now. Even if it doesn't succeed, I can just try again next turn.
So I have brilliant idea. If I simply kill enemy, we do not have to fight. Here I go. Oh, missed. Here I go. Oh, missed.
He's turning into Luigi. Anyways, we're done with Baalzack, so I'm done with this episode. Next episode, we'll move on from Baalzack, and I wasn't even paying attention to what we're doing next episode. Whatever, it's not going to be Baalzack. Be thankful for that.
And next time, the third wall.